lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan. Today I'm going to be talking about some more Ninja Turtles. This time I'm talking about the 2023 annual Out of Time. If you just look at the cover, you already know shit has gone down. At first glance, maybe you just see this older turtle standing over there with this weapon, but look a little closer and you see the guys are all laid out on this rooftop. Kind of a nod to issue 1 of the original Mirage run, obviously, like of this rooftop and where they're standing in this pose, but we're seeing it in a completely different light. And once you find out who this turtle is, craziness ensues. So we got writer Michael Walsh on the book, Vlad Legostaev on art, Santos on art as well, and Michael Walsh also does some of the art. So we got a bunch of dope artists on the book. We got Jason Wordy on colors, Sean Lee on letters. I just love this cold open. You're in space. And it's just the dialogue here. I'm sorry for all of it, for what I've done, and for what you must do to save everyone. And you have no idea who's narrating it. And then you're seeing this like long tube go through space. You're seeing this turtle flying through. He's old. He's got a scar. He's missing an eye. And you see this like shark thing like coming towards you. And he's about to say, oh crap. And then this insane looking, space shark? I don't know what else you'd call it. Just bites through this tube and bites through his arm. And he just flies, and then you see like he's floating around, and there's like different Earths crashing into each other, and he lands in New York with a missing arm, and he's like, oh, it's not what it's supposed to, this wasn't supposed to happen like this. I'm home. And then obviously we're in the present day, and then we flash back to the guys. Let me just say this off top. I love Turtles comics when they're mostly focused on the 4 brothers. I think that's what most people would probably agree with me on that. Like that's the sweet spot. You know, like when you're reading a Turtles comic, you want the main focus to be the guys. Yes, it's cool every once in a while to focus on the side characters, April, Casey, Splinter, the Foot. But you want to read them. That's like what we come to the Turtle comics for. And what I always find interesting too is, and this has been prevalent throughout the IDW run, is that every artist kind of depicts them the way they want to depict them for the most part. So while the Mutant Town stuff that's been going on, like they're kind of wearing clothes most of the time, we get a more classic look to the Turtles. We don't have them wearing their outfits, which I really dig. I love this. They're all sitting there eating pizza, and Raph is just like working out his frustrations. He's like everything that happened after Alpex, the Rat King, Splinter. So this is taking place after Armageddon Game and before TMNT 140. I forgot to mention that. So Armageddon Game with the Rat King and that has all happened, and 140 was the start of the current arc, which we're 2 issues into now with 140 and 141 are both out. So this is after like this big crossover happened. Raph just wants to crack some skulls, which is that's par for the course with Raph. And they get the alert, and there's an intruder. They come up and they see this bloody turtle missing an arm, about to say help, and then he collapses. And I love this too, the way you're seeing this from like how the turtle is, the older turtle, which whatever, spoiler alert, is Raph from the future. Old Man Raph is like hearing these voices, so you get to see like who's speaking based on their word balloon and the color. He's like, sorry man, this is gonna hurt. And like, what are they doing? They put this metal arm on, attached to his body, and he's like, what did you do? And he's been out for almost a week. So this turtle they've been just chilling with him for about a week. He just wants some water. He's like, all right, enough. Who are you and what do you want? And he just says, I'm one of you. And obviously Donnie's like, I initially thought you might have been a product of M-Day, which is, the thing that happened that created all the mutants in Mutant Town during, Sophie Campbell's awesome run. He's like, look, I'm not supposed to say anything. It could damage and he's about to say damage the timeline. It's like, you're me. And it's Raph. He's like, I'm telling you, this ancient crust bucket is me. And of course you'd be able to tell if it was yourself, like there's just, I'm sure there's like some sort of like an energy that like you being in the same room, even with a future version of yourself, there would just be that energy, that vibe that you'd definitely be able to tell. I love the way he's talking. It's like, young Raph is saying, believe me, there's something behind that eye of his. I see it every time I look in the mirror. It's a fire you guys wouldn't understand. And that is something that's unique to Raph. He's got that fire, that anger that he's constantly trying to control and subdue, because he almost goes into like a blind rage, much like I would say like a berserker rage, like Wolverine sometimes. And not all the time, not maybe as frequent as Wolverine has, but he has that fire in him. And, Mikey comes up, he's like, okay, prove it to me, prove your Raph. So you get a little backstory of like this skateboard and, of their younger days, and Mikey wanting to get a skateboard and stuff. And he's like telling him to give it up. And you get this nice one. They find the broken pieces of a skateboard and they put it back together. And even like a little callback to like the OG IDW books had them with all red bandanas, which is what they were originally created as in the 80s. They all had red. They didn't have the colors until, the 1987 cartoon. And eventually they do incorporate that into this series as well. But, like getting to hear that backstory, he's like, okay, you are. And he's like, well, what happened to you? And he says, I'm trying to save you and save everyone. And he says, Donatello, come with me now. This is going to set some stuff up for the ongoing, moving forward. And, young Raph is like, dude, don't. He's lying. He's twisted up, man. And Donnie's like, something doesn't add up. And then you keep getting this flashback, right? And then you see him like he's ripping stuff apart, puts himself, makes a mask for himself. He's like, how can I help stop the apocalypse? He's like, oh, so you're always so damn smart. And then boom, attacks Donnie. But look, Donnie put a code word in to take out that arm, and he's like, so you never trust me? He's like, it was a precaution, like I had to make sure. He's like, and you could see this, like there's obviously an animosity because Old Man Raph is like, you have a plan for everything, don't you? And he's like, I don't need this. And this art is just awesome. I love Santos's art on this book, and I love that we get a wide variety of Turtles artists, whether it's the ongoing, it's sometimes like you would like to see the same artist stay on the book for a good amount of time, but I'm cool with switching it up because I like to see people's different renditions of the Turtles because you always get something fresh and new. I love this shot right here of Old Man Raph when he just throws that kick up on Leo, because look, he's more experienced than all of these guys at this point. He's he's old, he's been around. And Mike, this again, another awesome moment. Mikey comes up with his nunchucks and he's like, no one tells you this, Mikey, but you have the most raw talent of any of us. You could have been the best, but you never had the heart for it. You were never a killer. Boom, takes him down. And I just like that because obviously Last Ronin has come out and Mikey was the last turtle to survive. And he was in that book, he's definitely portrayed as not the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky turtle that we all know him as. And I do notice this, every time Mikey gets serious, like he is a force to be reckoned with. But it's something that is not surface level for him. So it's like he only goes to that place when it's necessary. So you get a little bit of the backstory that, Donatello is the reason that all this destruction is happening. And they're trying to plead with him, like, this isn't you. He's like, well, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through, the things that I've seen, people I've hurt. And then they call him out. It's like, well, what would Splinter say? And then this is where it gets interesting. He's like, I don't know about your world, but in mine, Splinter went bad. Which he did kind of in the IDW world. So it's interesting to see, like, is he from this future? Is he from this Earth? Or is he from another one? And is he just coming to this Earth because this Donatello is the one that destroyed it? So a lot of cool stuff here to unpack. I won't get too much more into the story. I'll let you guys kind of find that for yourself. But it definitely ends in an interesting spot. Obviously, the end with a question mark. So a lot of cool stuff. Some really dope covers for this book as well. I'm a huge Turtles fan, as everybody that watches the channel knows. So go pick up this book. Again, another great little, one shot that, you can jump in if you've been wanting to read Turtles, haven't been reading it, or you haven't read it in a while, and you want to jump back in. Great jumping on point. You pick up the first couple issues of the new arc too. That they're still available. Hit up your local comic shop. Follow us on social media. Our links are down below. Hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, I'm out.